All right now.
You are a totally different person. When you walk that parade field,
Yes,
the
sir.
graduation day, you're a different human being.
Yes.
You're ready to go to war.
Yes, sir. Tell me about it.
The United States of America has one of the mightiest armies this world has ever seen. They don't have to fight like they used to. They can push a button, send a drone someplace, blow up what they got to blow up, and the guy who sent the drone can go home for dinner that night. We are not that blessed. We have to fight our battles here, at home,
At home.
at work,
Yes, sir.
out here on the street, every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Come on,
Now,
dude.
when you're dealing with the military, it's no joke.
Yeah.
The military kills. That's what they're trained to do. They're not trained to come out and try to negotiate with you. There was a movie came out a few years back, had Denzel Washington and what's his name? Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Denzel Washington was a FBI agent. Bruce Willis was a general in the army.
Yes.
There was some terrorism going on in New York. He said, look here, we're going to have to declare martial law. And Bruce Willis said, look, you don't want that. You do not want to unleash the United States military on the streets of New York.
Praise God.
The military kills people. Somebody gets in our way, we kill them. We knock them down. We take them out. Unbeknownst to most of us, we're not dealing with a person,
Yeah.
truly. We're dealing with a spirit.
Yes.
We're dealing with a demonic force.
Yes.
We're dealing with something that you can beat it all you want. That's not going to kill it. After you kill it, it's going to go possess something else.
Yes.
It's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And when it's going to stop? Judgment Day. It's going to be going on till I die, long after I die. My children's children are dead. That's how long until the Lord comes back.
Praise God.
Now, as we sit back and look at our nation today, we want to realize something. There's anger, there's hatred in the streets. People are killing each other over stupid stuff, truly stupid stuff. People are alienating one another. So let's get into the scripture. Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against power, against rulers of darkness in this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Therefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand the evil day, having done all to stand. Now, that was from the NIV. The Bible I like to read is called Message. It breaks it down so that even the children can understand. Okay? This is no afternoon athletic contest that we'll walk away from here and forget about in a couple of hours. This is for keeps. Life or death fight. The finish against the devil and all his angels.
All right now.
Okay? Now we know who the enemy is. Okay?
No, it is.
How do you fight it?
How do you? How?
Okay? Let's talk about the enemy a little bit. Ezekiel 28:12. There was a king. The king was named Tyree.
Yeah.
He was a jerk. He thought he was going to be God. He set himself up, all this good stuff. Yeah, I'm bad. Ezekiel was told by the Lord, prophesied to him. Now, this prophecy in Ezekiel 28:12, you got to be careful with it because some things pertain to the king and Tyre, some things pertain to the devil. All right? So now, you had, again from the Message, you had everything going for you. You were in Eden, God's garden. You were dressed in splendor, your robe studded with jewels, moonstone, beryl, onyx, jasper, sapphire, turquoise, emerald, all setting engraved in gold. A robe was prepared to you the same day you were created. you notice he was created, a created being, which is, Brother Barnell, a created being is a angel.
Yes.
Okay? The same day you were created, you were the anointed cherub.
Yes. Anointed.
The anointed cherub.
That's what.
All of us know, have heard about it. The devil, Lucifer, was in charge of worship. He had his job providing worship. He was a worship leader.
Come on, bro.
There were many references to his beauty and his splendor, having pipes,
Amen.
pipes laid into his chest like a pipe organ.
Yes, it did.
Okay, having drums built into him for rhythm.
Yes.
He had all this stuff going for him.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord said, I placed you on the mountain of gold. You strolled in magnificence among the fire, the stones of fire.
Mm-hmm.
From the day you were creation, you were perfected. Then, imperfection, evil was detected in you.
Oh my goodness.
In much buying and selling, you turned violent. You sinned. I threw you disgraced off of the mountain of God.
Yes.
I threw you out, the anointed angel cherub.
Mm-hmm.
No more strolling among the gems of fire for you. Your beauty went to your head. One thing that Satan truly, truly hates is when we come together on Sunday morning.
Amen.
Have you ever noticed? Every day of the week, you can get up in the morning, get ready to go to work.
Come on.
9 times out of 10, you ain't got a problem.
Amen. How about James?
Talk about it, bro.
Sunday morning, you get up,
Come on, bro.
you couldn't sleep the night before,
See?
you're late,
Come on now.
you got a flat tire, you need to stop and get gas. The kids are acting complete fools.
Yes. Come on. Come on.
But you're trying to get the devil does not want us to come here.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen.
Again, from the message, 1 Peter 5:8. Keep a cool head, stay alert. The devil is poised to pounce and would like nothing better than to catch you napping, keep you off guard.
Always.
Before I go any further, in my effort to sleep last night, which I did not do,
Oh yes.
I started surfing the web, and I came upon this article in the Huffington Post, which was the dumbest thing I think I've ever read in my life. The article was actually had to be written by someone who I'm not going to say was crazy, but their spirituality was lacking. They talked about, well, first of all, let me tell you this, I'm not preaching politics from the pulpit. I don't do politics,
Go ahead.
okay? She said that because of the way white evangelicals have embraced Trump and all of the dishonest things that are going on, we as the church should protest. Her way of protesting was, we should have a Sunday with no church. A Sunday with no church as a protest. And you want to hear some people say, Sunday with no church? Man, I can sleep in. I can stay up late and sleep in. I don't have to worry about getting here late. But we can sleep in. If there's a problem, this is where we need to be. We need to be here. We need to be praying. We need to be praying corporately.
Yes,
We
sir.
need to be holding hands and calling on the Lord to rectify this problem. Now, make no mistake, there's a war going on
Amen.
for our minds and our souls.
Come on, bro.
Okay, now, does anybody know what the slow walk is? Everybody heard the terminology slow walk? There was a guy I worked with at my former employer, who I'm not going to give a commercial to because we're on Facebook. But we had a cell site down in D.C. I'm driving to work. My boss calls me and said, Gene, you got to get downtown as soon as possible with this site. President Bush tried to make a call, he couldn't make a call. So I'm like, oh boy. Get down there, and I find out, look at it, 2 system performance engineers with me, we're going in there, we're like ready to go to war. Bags of tools, and computers, and all kinds of stuff. Go in there, and looked, said, okay, there we go. They were working the night before. The guy who was supposed to be working with them got them into the building, got them started on the project, and left. When they finished their work, they looked for him, they called him, they couldn't find him. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. They went home. It was a situation where, I don't know how much you know about cell phones, but if you have a cell phone, it's not going to transmit, it's not going to work unless it hears a signal from the cell site. Now, if it hears a signal from the cell site, but the receive isn't hooked up, it's still not going to work. It's just going to say, I didn't hear that. And that's what happened. They didn't connect up the receives when they left. Little 5-minute fix, no problem. But again, spiritually speaking, that's one of the problems that we all have. We talk all the time. We don't listen for the Lord.
Praise God.
Okay? There's another radio term that we use called descents. That's when you have 2 antennas, two radios. Okay? And the antennas are close together. This one transmits.
Right.
When this one transmits, this one can't receive because there's too much power coming out. And it's blocking anything from coming in.
Come on, bro.
Descents.
Yes, sir.
We have been slow walked down a path of destruction. We have been desensitized
Desensitized.
to what is right and what is wrong.
Come on, bro. Come on now.
Okay? We are inundated by garbage on a daily basis.
Yes, sir.
From our television, our radios, the music that we listen to.
Yes.
Plato, great philosopher,
Yes, sir.
he once said, he warned, musical innovation is full of dangers to the state. For when modes of music change, the laws of the state always change with them. Now, I want you all to think back to 1964. 1960, if that is, if most of you were born then, I believe. 1964, February. The Beatles landed in New York.
Mama.
A bunch of screaming girls, howling, making, everybody, the Beatles, the Beatles, the Beatles. The Beatles went on to change music as we know it. With them came much social change. Protests over the Vietnam War. I think this is the first time in this country that people protested a war. They sat there and hollered and acted a fool until they basically got what they wanted. There was social change, the 1964 Civil Rights Act.
Yeah.
Okay. 1966, Time magazine said, God's dead. There ain't no God. Amongst all of that, the music changed, and it's still going on even today. The change in the music, the change in what you see on television. A lot of you don't know this, but there is an FCC rule that says between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., there can be no profanity. After 10 p.m., all bets are off. There was a station I used to listen to before I was saved called WPFW. I was working downtown in D.C. and it was a Thursday night, and they had this comedy show. Now, the comedy that they play is not like Bill Cosby. It's more like Richard Pryor, Red Fox. What's that guy's name? Rudy Ray Moore.
Boss man.
Okay. Now, when you hear this on the radio 9 times out of 10, you beep, beep, beep. There was no beeps. It was just a flood of profanity coming out of the radio.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is after 10 o'clock. TV after 10 p.m., you will see full-blown sex acts, homosexuality, hear foul language. All these things we allow in our homes, in our lives.
Yeah.
Now, how did we get here? How did we get from being a conservative nation, which the United States was for many years,
Yeah.
very conservative?
Mhm.
Okay, I mean, when you looked at television back in the 50s and early 60s, you didn't even see husband and wife sleeping in the same bed. I mean, husband and wife, Lucille Ball and Ricky Ricardo married, two separate beds. But now, what do we see on television? We see people totally unmarried in the same bed, doing more than sleeping. Okay? I'll leave it at that. The slow walk began back in the Garden of Eden. The serpent told the woman,
Yes.
"You won't die. God knows that the moment you eat from this tree, that you'll see what's really going on.
Yes.
You'll just be just like God, knowing everything, ranging from the way from good to evil." When the woman saw that the tree looked good for eating and realized that she would get out, when she would get out of it, she'd know everything, she took and ate and the fruit and gave it to her husband, and he also ate. The rest is history.
That's up.
Okay?
That's up.
Jesus himself didn't go more than 300 miles, I believe, during his ministry. Everything he did was on foot. He might have had a camel or a horse once in a while, but it was on foot or in the boat.
Yeah.
Now,
Amen.
if you look at that and look forward, many thousands of years after that, not many thousands, but hundreds of years after that, there was the Crusades. I'm not going to talk much about the Crusades because it was a time in the church that I think we all really want to forget.
Yeah.
We, as Christians, went out and forced people to be Christians or we killed them. That's it, period. You're not a Christian, you profess Christ? No, die. But after the Crusades, in the 14th and 15th century, soldiers from the Crusades came back home. And much like our soldiers today do, they brought back things that they had seen. They brought back new ideas, new ideologies.
Yes.
And that moved on to what we have today. Getting down to what the real problem is. Our country is a victim of a spirit of separation. Race, music, worship styles in the church, gender, culture. Back in 1638, the Baptist Church was founded by Richard Williams. Richard Williams was a man of vision. He saw many people coming to the Lord through the Baptist Church. But then in 1845, slave owners separated from the Baptist Church and formed the Southern Baptist Church.
Yes.
Separated. And when they separated, there was, I believe, a spirit of hatred. Okay? If you look at the South, at that time, they lost their good life. I mean, face it, if you were able to get up in the morning, you've got people out there working for you. You don't have to do anything but sit around, drink mint juleps, play horseshoes. Somebody's out there doing the work. When Abraham Lincoln took that from them and handed it in their butt, and they no longer had this free labor. They had to pay for labor just like the North did. They were upset. This spirit of separation, spirit of anger, festered. It stayed on. It's still there today. You can't beat it out of somebody. Somebody calls you the N-word. You are going to get angry, which the devil wants you to do. And you want to punch him right in the mouth. And you're going to go right to jail. Because there's something called freedom of speech. You can say someone can say pretty much what they want to say to you. From the Baptists today, they are a more progressive group. They are into the civil rights movement. Still, equal rights for women. They even count females among their pastors. They are even started welcoming same-sex couples. I'm going to leave that there because that's another divisive topic. Southern Baptists take a more conservative viewpoint. Women don't serve as pastors. You will not go to a Southern Baptist church and see a woman pastor. Fundamentally, Christian evangelical groups condemn same-sex marriage. And this has created a rift in Christianity. Now, in my research for all of this, I found an article which really set it off. And the name of the article, again, I'm not preaching politics. I'm just speaking the truth. How the Bible Belt lost God and found Trump. Wayne Flint, a 76-year-old emeritus professor of history at Auburn University, a Baptist minister, he still teaches Sunday school, was asked how a 3-time married former casino owner who had been recorded bragging about grabbing women by the genitals had won over the faithful. So, oh my God. I got to finish this up. Anyway.
Yes.
Basically, he says, the word of Jesus as recorded is no longer central to their behavior. He says church is not compelling, marriage is less important. Reading from a severely abridged Bible, the political concerns have narrowed down to abortion and issues of homosexuality. Their faith, he says, has been put in the president who embodies the unholy trinity of materialism, hedonism, and narcissism. So, basically, we're dealing with the spirit of division brought on by the author of all lies, the devil. Okay? But the particular spirit is that of a Leviathan. You know what that is? Leviathan is usually called a dragon. And it's been, look in the book of Revelations, you see a dragon. This is our fight. This is our struggle. We will be dealing with this from this day forward. So to this, I bow to the pastor. Lead us in a prayer of reconciliation.
It's 27 minutes.
We thank the Lord for Brother King. You quietly listen to him. He is burdened with the social issues that are going on in our society. And nobody is so bold to speak to. But yet that is the truth.